Hey guys, Travis with Everglades. Today we got the brand new John Deere 335P compact track loader and MK76 mulching head. We're gonna run this thing and spin some drums and clear some land, man. Come check this out, man. All right, so before we start clearing some land today, let's talk about what we got. So up front, we got the John Deere MK76 mulching head. This is a Fecon BK7618 Blackhawk that's rebranded as John Deere's private label mulching head. So let's talk about what we got. All right, so we know there's a lot of different mulching heads on the market, and those of you that know mulching heads and are serious about performance know which ones are your high performance mulching heads. Now make no mistake about it, the Fecon Blackhawk, AKA this MK76, is a very high performance mulching head with a great reputation for power, performance, and reliability. This mulching head has a 2-speed motor in it. It's also equipped with this DCR, which is depth control rotor. What that means is, you see there's these rings all throughout here. What these do is it allows you to take a smaller bite whenever you're going into vegetation and trees, and it allows these teeth right here to process the material a lot better. So you're gonna leave a lot smaller material, smaller finish that a lot of y'all's customers have come to expect. The alternative to this, if you're sitting at the house and you're scratching your head and you're saying, well, Trav, why does my mulching head look different than this? Well, the alternative to this is what you call a smooth drum mulching head. So those tend to be a little bit cheaper price-wise, and they're typically not gonna leave the same performance that a DCR rotor will. Now, this one is equipped with the reversible knife style tooth. So what you can see there is that side there, you got another cutting edge. So once you wear this down, you can flip these and still get a little bit more life out of your teeth. And of course you can go through here and sharpen them and put just another edge on there and maintain that quality of cut. Now, another advantage of the DCR rotor is you get a lot faster recovery speed on this thing. So what that's gonna allow you to do is be a lot more efficient, save fuel, and complete your jobs a lot faster. Because again, this rotor, once you go into your cut and you back up a little bit, it's gonna recover a lot faster. So you can get right back up to your prime cutting speed, go right back into your cut, and start producing once again. So later on, whenever we run this thing, y'all will see why a lot of guys in the Southeast prefer this mulching head, because it does really good in the Southeast where we have a lot of fibrous, stringy type material. And this style of mulching head processes it very well. All right, now before I get into this, whenever a lot of guys call me and they're shopping for their first mulching skid steer, a lot of guys will immediately go to the John Deere 335. However, we have 3 models in the John Deere large frame P-tier skid steer lineup. We've got the 331, 333, and 335. All 3 of these machines will run this mulching head and do a very fantastic job. However, the 335 boasts slightly higher system pressures and will result in faster recovery times and a little bit better performance whenever you're doing hydraulically demanding applications, i.e. running a mulching head, a cold planer, and that sort of thing. All right, so let's talk about what we got here on the skid steer side. So obviously we can look at this thing, and this thing is bad to the bone, man. We got all kind of forestry protection on here. This thing is kitted out exactly as you would need it for commercial mulching. So let's talk about what's on this machine and what comprises the Forestry Kit. All right, so first of all, we know the John Deere 335 is a great platform to run mulching heads on. Why is that? Well, you got 118 horsepower, you got 4,000 PSI at the couplers, so this thing's got a lot of power behind it. Also, we've got doggone PCLS hydraulics on there. What's that stand for? Pressure Compensating Load Sensing. Basically what that is, without boring y'all to tears, is it's like smart hydraulics. What it does is it saves you fuel whenever you're not working hard, and it gives you power whenever you need the power, all right? So let's go through here and see what comprises the Forestry Kit from John Deere. Now, up front, we got the auxiliary coupler guard. So what this is gonna do is this is gonna protect all your auxiliary couplers here and protect them from damage, falling objects, etc. Moving back a little bit further, you can see we have the windshield wiper guard. And up here we have lights, we have light guards. And then up top, which may be harder to see on camera, but we have the FOPS guard, falling object protection. So that's going to protect your skid steer in the event you have debris falling on top of the cab. Working our way back, we can see we have some guards for your cylinder linkage here. One of the most underappreciated features on a John Deere skid steer is the auxiliary manifold mounted inside the boom. Now the alternative to this is you'll see some skid steers out there that stick them on top of the boom. Why would they do that? Because it's cheaper. Now when you mount it inside the boom right here, you can see it's very well protected already out of the box. But this one we kitted out with the auxiliary coupler manifold guard as well. So that's going to provide a lot of protection on that, and that's going to be a real lifesaver whenever you're out in the woods worried about clearing land and making money and not having to go to the hydraulic shop to fix your couplers. All right, so let's take a look at what you got whenever you sit behind the severe duty door and you sit in the seat of this John Deere 335P. So as you can see, we got a brand new redesigned cab in this thing, right? So it's a one-piece pressurized cab. Now, really exciting thing about this is you've got great situational awareness with these 270-degree cameras, right? So you can configure these multiple ways, right? So you can have a good idea of what's going on around you while you're running your mulching head. Over here, we've got a good idea of what our fuel status, depth status. We've also got our new attachment management system where we can go in here and we can tell our machine exactly how many gallons a minute we want to put through our attachment. And this one, in this case, right, for this MK76, we're going to go ahead and we're going to crank 45 gallons a minute through this thing. We want all of our power, all of our performance to go through this head. You can see this old cab's redesigned. It's all one piece, pressurized. You can move your joysticks around. You can get as comfortable as you want to get. You've also got a ventilated seat, right? So you can sit here and you can stay cool all day, and you can, you know, doggone crank up your Charlie Crockett, bro, and just vibe out, man. Just nothing but mulching and vibes, man. That's what it's all about here. All right, let's start at the top and work our way down. So up top, I don't know if y'all can see that, but we have our JDLink guard. So we've talked about JDLink in other videos, but what JDLink is that's John Deere's telematics system. So that does a whole lot of cool stuff. It'll track where your machine is, how hard it's working. Even if you have trouble codes, it'll notify your dealer, and we can help you remotely diagnose issues should they arise. Going further down, you can see we have a guard on our rear window. We've also got a guard on the exhaust stack there. Now, this one is equipped with the optional engine air pre-cleaner. This cleans the air before it goes into the air filter, right? So this will save some life on your filters, especially when you're in those very dusty applications, i.e. forestry mulching. On the pre-cleaner itself, you can see we outfitted this one with the pre-cleaner guard. So that's going to protect this against damage from limbs and so forth, right? Now working our way down, you can see this one has the heavy-duty rear grille on it to protect your fan and cooling package from damage. Now another word about the cooling package. New for the John Deere large frame P-tier skid steers, John Deere has a tri-cool engine and hydraulic cooler. What does this do? It's a redesigned cooling package that does such a good job of cooling the engine and the hydraulics that there's no longer a need for an auxiliary roof cooler. That's right. The new cooling package on here will cool the machine good enough to where there's no need for an auxiliary cooler, even if you're running those very demanding implements like your mulching heads, cold planers, that sort of thing, right? Working our way down, also another word on the fan. The fan is also a reversing fan. So there's a couple different ways you can run that. You can have the fan automatically reverse every, say, 15, 30, 45 minutes, or you can even do it manually. Now what that's gonna do is the fan, when it can do it without overheating itself, the fan will start to slow down and then change directions and blow out the coolers to help keep your radiators cool and clear so you can keep operating without having to clean the machine out as much. Now, going down here, you can see this one has the heavy-duty rear bumper on it. You've also got a receiver here where you can mount like a rear winch for recovery if you get yourself in a sticky situation out here in the woods. Now this one, you can see it's got 2 sets of counterweights on it. You can put up to 3, even with this big rear bumper on here. Why would you want counterweights whenever you're mulching? Well, what it does is it gives you a little bit more stability back here if you want to raise your mulching head up for a better angle of attack on certain trees and so forth, to help keep the rear end of your machine stable. Another thing, this machine has a 30-gallon fuel tank standard, but you can add saddle tanks on this machine that'll give you another 13 gallons of fuel. Also, this thing has a larger def tank now, which is a 4-gallon def tank, which allows you to run longer without having to refill your diesel and def tanks. All right, so we're about to run this thing and clear some land. Now, before I get started, I already see you in the comments. Yeah, you right there. I know what you're gonna put. Oh, this guy's not an operator. Oh, I'd never hire this guy. Oh, I'd fire him if he was an operator. Well, guess what? I've made my living 2 ways. I've made my living in the Navy and as an equipment salesman. And that's what I'm gonna do here today, is run this thing, clear some land. Let's have a little fun with it. Let's go. So that was a whole lot of fun. I found myself using the creep mode a lot. What that does is that allows you to get all of your engine power and all of your hydraulic power, but at a more controlled ground speed, right? So this thing made really short work of these palmettos and this stuff. And one of the things we talked about this with a DCR rotor is it leaves like a really fine material. And I know some of y'all in the comments right now, again, are gonna be like, oh, I would have left a better finish. I would have done this. Again, I'm not an equipment operator. I'm an equipment salesman. That being said, hey, if you're in the market for one of these things, we would love to have a shot at it. We got excellent service and support after the sale. We're a family-owned John Deere dealer, and I represent a lot of good people here at Everglades Equipment, and we got your back after you buy the machine. Hey, I appreciate y'all taking the time for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, comment. What'd you think? Hey, you got to criticize my operating skills, whatever else. Hey, let us know in the comments. I'll meet you down there. Thanks for watching.